House Speaker Mike Johnson fought back total panic this morning as the Senate and Elon Musk dropped a pair of bombs on him. Cue REM's Everybody Hurts. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. As we move into Hump Day, and as we continue to eat tacos at just about every opportunity, one subject remains at the fore of American politics: Trump's bloated budget abomination. At present, the bill awaits a vote on a second reconciliation package that would allow it to pass. However, criticism is mounting.
Breaking news, we just got the estimate on how much President Trump's legislative agenda will increase federal budget deficits. Let's go live to CNN congressional correspondent Lauren Fox on Capitol Hill. What are you learning, Lauren?
Yeah, this is a long-awaited estimate from the official bean counters on Capitol Hill, the Congressional Budget Office, and they are projecting that the House-passed bill, as it was written and passed by the House, would increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion over the next decade. And let's just put that in perspective. For Republicans and conservatives specifically who wanted this bill to show more spending cuts than it ultimately did, this could be a problem for some of those Republicans.
So, in short, the Senate is suddenly much more afraid of the budget bill itself and the catastrophic damage it would do to the country than to President Taco's blustering, which, frankly, is just good taste. And if you want to see how scared Mike Johnson is, stay tuned. Trump will be gone from office, hopefully sooner rather than later, but the effects of this bill could last decades, at bare minimum. On top of that, Senator Ron Johnson also delivered a blow to Trump and the bill in conversation with CNBC this morning.
Go ahead.
So the president and Senate leadership has to understand that we're serious. They always say, "Oh, we can pressure these guys." No, you can't. Okay, again, we're being very respectful. I ran in 2010 as part of the Tea Party movement. We were mortgaging our children's future. We were $14 trillion in debt then. Now we're over $37 trillion. We're serious about this. They need to take us seriously. Don't insult us. Work with us. Lay out the numbers. If you can say that our numbers are wrong, fine. Let's work through it. But again, every analysis I have, there's greater upside risk to that deficit.
Notice Ron Johnson's needling of Taco Trump there, too. Senators have much longer records and much more resources than their House counterparts, and therefore don't need to be so beholden to Trump's favor. Johnson's resolve there is also truly impressive in that he seems to be revolting against rubber stamp party and mentally decaying president for their irresponsible proposal. Refreshing, isn't it? Perhaps because of that spirit of revolt, and because of the new numbers out of the CBO, Speaker Mike Johnson spoke to the press earlier today addressing the fate of the budget bill. Johnson also addressed this tweet last night from former head of Doge and current frontrunner for the world's most drugged-out father, Elon Musk, who referred to the bill as an abomination. How the worm has turned. And yes, Elon Musk is a worm, at best. But I digress. Here's what Mike Johnson had to say this morning.
Elon Musk was sort of alluding to electoral threats against Republicans who voted for the big, beautiful bill. I mean, he spent $290 million in the 2024 election. How much of a threat is this to keeping the majority in 2024?
Look, let me just address the Elon controversy and tell you that I consider Elon a friend. He's obviously brilliant. I just told you we credit him with all the big changes with Doge and everything else. It's curious to me what happened this week. And full disclosure, Elon and I had a great conversation, about a half-hour-long talk on Monday this week, Monday morning. And we talked about the big, beautiful bill, because I think he was trying to make a joke a couple of days earlier. It can't be big and beautiful. And I started the conversation, oh, yes, it can, my friend. It's very beautiful. So we talked about all the record level of savings. My friends, no government in the history of mankind has ever cut $1.6 trillion in a piece of legislation. We're doing that here. I mean, happy text, Monday. And then yesterday, 24 hours later, he does a 180 and he comes out and opposes the bill. And it surprised me, frankly. And I don't take it personal. We don't take it personal. Policy differences are not personal. I think he's flat wrong. I think he's He's way off on this, and I've told him as much, and I've said it publicly and privately. I'm very consistent in that. But am I concerned about the effect of this on the midterms? I'm not. Let me tell you why. Because when the big, beautiful bill is done and signed into law, every single American is going to do better. This bill is geared for middle and working class Americans, and they are going to feel the effects of it, and they're going to feel it before the midterm elections. So I have no concern whatsoever. I'm absolutely convinced that we're going to win the midterms and grow the House majority because we're delivering for the American people and fulfilling our campaign promises, and we'll see how that happens. Second,
you mentioned that you talked to Elon on Monday. He made this 180. What do you think changed? Why do you think he's coming out against this now? And have you spoken to the president and Elon since the infamous tweet?
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer, but I hope to talk to him today. I mean, it's not, it's very friendly, and we've laughed about our differences on policy before. I'm not upset about this, and I just I think he understands, and he's acknowledged to me before that this is so serious that we can't fool around with it. I mean, the debt cliff is approaching very quickly, right? All the things that are in this bill are so important for the U.S. economy. It's going to be jet fuel for the U.S. economy. All boats are going to rise. And the sooner we do that, the better. And the risk of not getting it done is enormous, not just for the Republican Party, but for the country. We got to do this. We're going to have the largest tax increase in U.S. history at the end of the year if we fail, and all the other calamities that we've talked about. So we've got to get it done. And I think Elon understands the weight of that, and I hope he comes around. I'd love to talk to him this week, and I hope he calls him back today.
Oh, doesn't Speaker Johnson look like he's about to hurl there? Or cry? Or both? Speaker Little Johnson is waiting by the phone for Elon, who holds no government office, who has no clout, who is politically dead. Dude, I know a breakup when I see one. That phone is not going to ring. But there's another big reason for Johnson to look so nervous there. Remember, Mike Johnson was an accidental speaker after the disastrous tenure of Kevin McCarthy, who, in recent days, had tried to resurrect himself. Good luck with that, Kevin. But back to Johnson. Nobody knew who he was 2 years ago. He has a razor-thin majority in the House and is not exactly loved by his entire caucus. And he only pulled off the passage of this bill by a single vote. At the time, some political commentators called it a big win for Johnson. But if you watch our other videos here on the channel, and if you haven't subscribed, now is the time, people. If you have watched our show in recent weeks, you know that I see this differently. The passage of the bill owed entirely to Donald Trump's bullying, not Johnson's efficacy. And if the bill fails in the Senate, it will be the end of Johnson's speakership. The GOP will split in the House between those beholden to Trump and those more in line with the traditional conservatives of the Senate. And he will go down in history as an also-ran. Not quite so catastrophic as Kevin McCarthy, but more in line with Dennis Hastert, another accidental speaker who was later ousted after sexually assaulting young boys. Johnson's not a pedophile, so his tenure would be even more forgettable, which in this case might be a good thing. And most important of all, Johnson would have to go back to the drawing board to pass a budget for the government, one that would likely be stripped of all the cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and other government programs, and that would have to reduce or eliminate Trump's tax cuts for the super rich, which won't make Trump happy, even if it's better for the country. My dear viewers, Mike Johnson's political career is on life support. To see how this movie ends, keep watching. We'll keep you updated on this and every other important headline in the era of the taco presidency. This is Occupy Democrats.